Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I want to thank everybody that watched my video yesterday. It's got over 1,300 views. I haven't had a video get that many in a long time, so thanks for that. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'd like to reach at least 1,000 subscribers sometime this year, so I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. We're going to talk about an issue that should kind of tick everybody off. If you follow my channel, I'm a veteran. I served in the Army from 1983 to 2004. That's active duty and National Guard time. I served in Iraq in 2003. And this is an issue that's been popping up for a long time. This was first instituted under Bill Clinton. And it's when the VA submits your name to the FBI to put on the NICS list to become a prohibited person, and they strip your Second Amendment rights away without any due process, anything like that. Let's go over it a little bit and what's being done to protect veterans' gun rights. This is from bearingarms.com. This is from January 25th of this year. The Department of Veterans Affairs is ostensibly the part of the United States government that's supposed to look out for our veterans. They provide all the benefits veterans are entitled to as a result of their service. One would imagine they're basically the thank you from a grateful nation veterans see while they're still living. Of course, if you're a veteran, you know the truth is a lot more complex than that. It's especially true if the VA decides unilaterally to strip you of your right to keep and bear arms, which is unconstitutional. They can't do that. They have no authority to do that, which has happened. While we've talked about it before, and the program has been on pause for nearly a year, the debate over the VA doing such things is far from over. Apparently, this was supposed to end about 6-8 months ago, and it's recently being brought up again, of course, by Democrats. One lawmaker called the protection of veterans from self-harm while also ensuring their Second Amendment rights a tricky situation. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, the most recent report in 2022, firearms were used in 64.9% of veterans' deaths by suicide. It was a jump of 4% from the year before. However, an effort to protect such veterans from firearm-related self-harm has prompted critics to accuse the VA of depriving some veterans of their constitutional rights. The Department of Veterans Affairs seems to fail to give veterans any due process before violating their constitutional right to bear arms, said House Disability Assistance and Memorial Affairs Chairman Rep. Morgan Luttrell, Republican out of Texas, Navy SEAL, brother of Marcus Luttrell, who said 250,000 veterans have been affected. We're not a substandard group of citizens. We deserve the same rights and the due process as any other citizens of America, said James McCormick of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. At the heart of the issue is that the VA, when they would appoint someone to serve as a fiduciary for a veteran, would then forward the veteran's information to NICS, saying they were deemed incompetent to own a firearm. Now, many people who have fiduciaries, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, appointed for them are, in fact, people who probably should be deemed incompetent by the courts. In fact, some of them already were, and the VA is just acting as the court directed, but not all of them are necessarily. More to the point, though, those who haven't been adjudicated by a court shouldn't be added to anything that would deny the veteran in question their right to keep and bear arms. That's not something for the VA to decide on its own. This got really bad during the Obama years. No appointed bureaucrat should have the right to decide that because someone might need help with their financial affairs, they should be denied their constitutionally protected right to keep and bear arms, a right many of them fought and bled for. Of course, let's also not forget the veteran suicide numbers and talk of self-harm. Most of the veterans who take their lives may have profound issues, but what most of them probably don't have are fiduciaries. Even if the practice were reinstated today, it's unlikely there would be any real changes because, as I said, They're not people with fiduciaries in the first place. Depression and the like aren't grounds for a fiduciary under the VA's guidelines. And those are the people who tend to take their own lives. But this is nothing more than an attempt to make it look like this practice is about saving lives rather than simply denying people their right to keep and bear arms. Now, if you say you're a single veteran and you had severe injuries from, wartime or in peacetime service, and say you're unemployed, you go to the VA because they ask you a series of questions every time you go for an appointment, whether it's you're going in for a skin condition or blood work, whatever. It could be a surgery, any kind of appointment. They sit you down, they take your vitals, and they ask you, do you feel safe in your own home? Do you ever feel like causing harm to yourself or others? Do you have any firearms or other weapons in your home? The whole thing, do you feel safe when you go out in public? They ask you all this after they take your vitals and a bunch of questions like that. And if you say yes to any of those, they can deem you that you have issues, or, we have to assign a fiduciary to you because you're having trouble paying your bills or whatever. You get reported to NICS, and then that's it. You lose your Second Amendment rights forever. Then you have to take it upon yourself to hire an attorney to go before a judge to prove that you're not mentally incompetent. Of course, this could take years, thousands upon thousands of dollars, and people will just give up and say, screw it. Now, Representative Chip Roy, Republican out of Texas, and, Rep. Eli Crane, retired Navy SEAL, Republican out of Arizona, have introduced this bill to protect veterans' Second Amendment rights. Rep. Chip Roy is introducing a legislation Tuesday. This was dated the 4th of February. Is introducing legislation Tuesday to protect military veterans from having their Second Amendment rights stripped away by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. There's a new Secretary of Veterans Affairs. They better address this issue fucking toot sweet, because this is a problem. The legislation is the Defending Veterans Second Amendment Rights Act and is designed to prohibit the Secretary of Veterans Affairs from transmitting certain information to the Department of Justice for use by the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. Specifically, the Act states the Secretary of Veterans Affairs may not transmit to any entity in the Department of Justice for use by the National Instant Criminal Background Check System established under Section 103 of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, personally identifiable information on veterans and other beneficiaries solely on the basis of a determination by the Secretary under Chapter 11 of Title 38 United States Code that a person has a service-connected disability. There is a multi-pronged approach to stop the persistent, decades-long threat of a loss of rights for veterans, particularly Second Amendment rights. On January 24th, 2025, Breitbart News pointed to Rep. Eli Crane's legislative push to bar unelected bureaucrats who operate behind the scenes and target the rights of military veterans who use a fiduciary, I keep mispronouncing that, to help with their finances. Crane, former U.S. Navy SEAL, noted that Democrats who support the status quo on bureaucrats being able to strip away gun rights often claim they do so in order to help reduce suicide among veterans, particularly combat veterans. But Crane rejected this line of thinking, saying, when it comes to suicide, a lot of these individuals, a lot of veterans who are struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder and have some of these issues, one of their biggest issues is fear and trauma because they thought they might lose their life in battle against other people with guns. He suggested that taking away their guns now only serves to increase the feeling of defenselessness, thereby increasing feelings of fear and fueling the very suicides which Democrats claim they are trying to stop. Rep. Chip Roy commented on the Defending Veterans Second Amendment Rights Act, telling Breitbart News, Those who put their lives on the line for our nation should not have to worry about having their fundamental liberties wrongly stripped from them when they seek the medical care or benefits they have earned. Unfortunately, this happens far too often. I am proud to stand up and defend the constitutional Second Amendment rights of our veterans. Now, I know a lot of guys that refuse to go to the VA for help because of things like this. It's pretty sad when you come home and unelected bureaucrats or elected bureaucrats want to strip away your constitutional rights. There's been cases where I've known, I've spoken with people online and in person where a lot of reservists and National Guardsmen that are law enforcement or active duty members getting off of active duty and want to get involved in law enforcement refuse to go to the VA to claim maybe post-traumatic stress because they're afraid they won't get the job because they won't be able to possess a weapon. You can find this information out. It's in all kind of threads online. I'm not bullshitting. Look it up. Yes, veteran suicide is an issue. There are people in my unit that have taken their own lives since we got home. None of them use a firearm. The majority of veteran suicides don't involve a firearm. And that's a whole other topic that we should address because still nothing's being done about it. But this is pretty sad when an unelected bureaucrat can take away your rights without any due process. So I know this act that's being introduced by Chip Roy and Eli Crane is already being shot down by the Democrats. None of them will support it, of course, because they're Democrats. But yeah, hopefully the new VA secretary that just got sworn in addresses this issue and does a top to bottom review of this and other VA policies because the VA is broken and needs to be fixed. So this is an issue that's very important to me and a lot of my friends. So look it up online. You could find all kind of articles and stuff about this subject. I think that's about all I'm going to say about it. I'm sorry, I'm all flustered. I'm exhausted, and it's just this topic just kind of, it really gets to me. So I thank everybody for watching. Please, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks again. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to never miss an episode, and thanks for watching.